Ladies and gentlemen, it is the 15th of July, which means, of course, it is the Steam Summer Sale. Today marks some pretty good deals available, especially for Dishonored and Max Payne, as well as a couple of others. So, as per normal, we will just jump through all the games, and the ones that I think are particularly good, I'll spend a bit longer speaking about. First one available is Dishonored. This is available for £5.09, or if you're in the United States, you get to pay $10.19. It is, in my opinion, one of those games that is definitely worth picking up. The DLC for this, and the Knife of Dunwall, is also available, and I'm going to have to recommend that as well, because it is a very, very good piece of DLC, and that's also 66% off as well. Dishonored basically is a stealth FPS, and despite having a couple of flaws here and there, the graphics overall on the PC version are highly stylized. I have a couple of issues in terms of resolution, however, I'm talking about texture resolution here. However, overall it does look very nice and is definitely one of my favorite titles. I have, of course, covered both the original game and Knife of Dunwall on RGT, so I would encourage you to check this one out. There has been, unfortunately, no demo release for this one. Nevertheless, it is a very, very good title indeed, at least in my personal opinion. Next one, I don't really think this game requires much of an introduction. Terraria. It is available for 75% off, or $1.49, or that's pounds, or $2.49. This game is a 2D slash 'em up and allows you to do a huge amount of building. Many people have unfairly called this a 2D Minecraft, and it's actually not really true. There is a hell of a lot of difference between it and Minecraft, although obviously some ideas were borrowed from the game. In my opinion, this is one of those titles that you really should own. It is, however, much better if you can convince a friend or two to pick it up with you. Nevertheless, despite the fact it has fairly cutesy 8/60, or more 16-bit to be honest, graphics, it has a lot of gameplay in it, and even single player will keep you going for quite a while. I would highly recommend this title if you're interested in RPGs or action RPGs, because it will keep you going for quite some time, to say the least. Next title, we have Killing Floor. It is, of course, available for £2.99, so basically $3, or £4 if you're paying in US dollars. This game is a co-op shooter, and by the way, there is DLC available for this one, however, none of it is on sale. Well, at least the downloadable content. You can actually pick up various bundles, however, including a 4-pack for this, which is all, of course, discounted. This is a co-op shooter, and I haven't personally played it, if I'm honest. It does score fairly well, and also sold pretty damn well accordingly. If you want to pick it up, it's up to you. I don't really know that much about it. It does look fairly cool, however, from what I'm looking at. Unfortunately, there's no demo for it, so you'll have to just kind of make your own guess on that one. Next title, which has kind of got many people's attention, well, at least in my opinion, is Dust, an Elysian Tale. I've actually covered this quite recently on RGT, and in my opinion, it's a very, very good game indeed. It's currently available for 50% off. That would make it £6 great British pounds, or if you're paying in dollars, $7.49. This is a 2D fairy tale type of game, and has a ridiculously awesome combo system. If you guys are familiar at all with Guardian Heroes, which was a title that's released, of course, on the Sega Saturn, as well as the Xbox Live Arcade, it was a remake, of course, of the of the Saturn version. The combo system actually reminds me a little bit of that. It is an absolutely beautiful game to look at, by the way, both in terms of play style and in terms of action and combat, very much like in Trine in terms of the graphics, in terms of the quality. There is no demo available for this, so by all means, feel free to check out my video. Sorry guys, that's my phone. I keep forgetting to turn it off. Hang on, I'll just do that as I'm speaking. But in my opinion, it is definitely a no-brainer to pick this one up. It is a very, very awesome title indeed, and definitely worthy of, whatever it is in your region to pick it up. Next title, Warhammer 40,000 Dawn of War 2. This is Retribution. There are two versions available, either the complete pack or just the regular. The complete pack will get you tons of extras, including the Chaos Rising, as well as Warhammer 40,000 Dawn of War 2 and various other bits and bobs as well. Nevertheless, it is available 75% off, or £5 for just Retribution, $7.49, these are Great British pounds, for the complete pack. If you're paying in US dollars, that would be $7.49 or $14.99. This is one of those strategy type of affairs, of course, is based on the Warhammer series. And honestly speaking, I haven't really played it that much. However, several friends of mine have been absolutely addicted to this title, and actually consequently got them really into not only the universe of Warhammer, but also the cartoons and various other bits and bobs as well. It is quite story driven, and in my opinion, it's definitely worth picking up for strategy fans. I haven't really tried it out that much personally, however, I have tried it a little bit and it did seem pretty cool. If you're a strategy fan, I'd recommend it, especially if you're interested in Warhammer itself. Next title, Sins of a Solar Empire Rebellion. It is available if you are within the UK for $7.49. That's a single copy. If you want a 4-pack, you can actually get this for $18.74, and there is a soundtrack as well available for this, for the soundtrack bundle, for $7.49. So I don't really know why you'd not go for that. You can also pick it up for US dollars for $9.99 for the base game, or a 4-pack for $29.99. I have covered this on RGT, so I'd recommend you check it out. It is a very, very cool game. It also has a lot of prettiness in it. It is, of course, a space strategy type of affair, and honestly speaking, when I first tried this out, I really wasn't thinking I was going to like it that much. I was someone who really didn't get into titles like Homeworld on the PC, of course, released way back when. However, this game really did do it for me, and I think it's going to be one of those titles that you're probably going to love it or hate it. It is extremely in-depth, and the tutorial alone is pretty damn long. However, once you've gotten used to it, once you've gotten a handle on it, it plays pretty damn intuitively. It is a good title, in my opinion. It is a very solid title, and if you have the patience for it, and if you're interested in space and Battlestar Galactica or whatever, as I am, for example, then you are definitely going to really love this game. If you're not that much of a strategy fan, you're definitely going to not want to pick this one up to begin with, because it does have a very steep learning curve. It is not a simple game just to pick up and master. Next game would be Max Payne 3. This game is a pretty damn good title. It's available for $9.99 if you're paying in US dollars, or $6.24 if you're paying in Great British pounds. Both regions get 75% off, which is not too shabby. It's also worth noting that you can indeed pick up all of the DLCs as well for 75% off, and there are quite a lot of them. Just as a slight aside, you can also pick up the Rockstar Hits collection as well, which includes quite a few titles, but it's only 50% reduction, so your mileage may vary on if you want to pick this one up. You could also pick up Max Payne Complete, which, as the title would imply, that gets you all of the Max Paynes, Max Payne 1, 2, 3, as well as the pass. That would cost you $21.23 in US dollars, or $13.73 in Great British pounds. I have actually covered this on RGT, and my goodness, it was a long time ago, you can tell, because video quality was not as good then, as obviously we're just starting the channel. Regardless, it is a very solid game in my personal opinion. It has a couple of cliche moments towards the storyline, however the PC port for this is not shabby. It is actually pretty good. And in honesty speaking, okay, as I said, it does have a little bit of a cliche storytelling, and Max Payne himself could be a bit of a grouch on this title. He is not a happy bunny. But despite all of this, the game is definitely one of those titles that is worth picking up. If you happen to have either a love affair for the action shooter genre, or just the desire to randomly run and gun people in bullet time, this game does things extremely well. It, as I said before, is very beautiful on PC, and I'd recommend this game very, very heartily. It is extremely decent indeed. And as I said, if you're curious about a little bit of gameplay, unfortunately there's no demo for this available, so you can always check out the RGT review. Anyway, next title is Castle Crashers. I'm not going to bother to give too much information on this because there is a demo available right there, so it's a lot better just to check it out. It is available for 75% off, or $3.74 if you're of course paying in American dollars. I don't think Britain's using that quite for the moment, Paul. Let me just get that right. And for those of us who are living in UK, you can pay for $2.49. So just to clarify, because of a momentary speech impediment by myself, £2.49 or $3.74. This is one of those titles that is... You're probably going to love it or hate it, to be honest with you, but I'm not going to really bother to speak about it because the demo is right there and it's not a particularly big file, so it's such a tiny ass, it's such a minute thing just to download a demo. It's much better than actually trying to explain to you guys about this game. In my opinion, it's much better just to get a demo if at all possible. Next title would be Wargame Airland Battle. It is available for 50% off. So you are going to be paying, what are you going to be paying? $14.99 or 15 basically British pounds, or $19.99. I can honestly say that I have never ever played this game in my life. However, it does score extremely well on both Metacritic as well as various review sites such as GameSpot, IGN, and so on and so on. PC Gamer also rate it extremely well, and of course they are quite the authority on online gaming and PC in general. I would personally recommend to check this one out a little bit heavily. It does look quite pretty actually. It was released just recently actually in May of this year, so you're definitely getting quite a recent game. 50% off is quite a steep reduction in price. Sorry, I cannot say that I've played this game. I unfortunately cannot play everything. Next up is Rios. I haven't personally played this, but Amata has, and I've given her a quick call, and she has given me some information regarding it. It is apparently a planet creation type of game, so you can basically create your own world, shape it, and so forth. It actually looks pretty cool, actually, and I believe she's covered it for RGT. So I would highly recommend you check out her video if you want more information on that. Nevertheless, it is available for $5 or if you are paying in British pounds, it would be $3.49. She does give it a thumbs up, and she does say that if you're interested in these type of games, you would be wise to pick it up. As I said, I personally haven't played it, but she has, and she has given a full review on this one. So you should check that one out. Next ones, well, Flash Tales. There's about 7.5 hours, so I might as well go through them relatively rapidly. Bioshock Infinite, 50% off, my good sir. It has been that previously, I believe, on a Community's Choice. I could be wrong, but I do remember it going to that price before. That would be $17.49 if you're paying, once again, in US dollars, or $29.99 if you're paying in, I'm sorry, that'll be $17.49 if you're paying in pounds, or $29.99 in US dollars. I've no idea why I'm getting this currency screwed up today. There's not that much really to say about Bioshock Infinite that I think hasn't been said before. It is, of course, one of those titles that has, especially this year, has become synonymous with gaming. Interestingly enough, there was quite a lot of criticism for this game in one respect, because obviously one of the main characters, Elizabeth, who of course is the female that you occasionally see in artwork, many have called her to be the main character, and instead the publishers and so forth in the marketing campaign mostly focused on Booker, and that caused quite a controversial storm. Anyway, nevertheless, as I said, this title is definitely worth picking up. It is one of those games that has a few small issues when it comes to the way powers work. In my opinion, powers and combat could be better balanced. This is not one of those games that I'd say the combat is top notch, and honestly speaking, the further I go into the game, the more you notice this. Regardless, it is one of those titles that in my opinion is an excellent piece of storytelling, and I'd highly recommend you pick it up. Next title, Mirror's Edge. It is available for 70% off, or $4.49 if you're paying in pounds or $5.99 if you're paying in dollars. This game is actually pretty cool, and in many ways you would expect it not to work because it is a free running type of game where you are playing from first person. In that respect, it is a little bit like Dishonored, but feels extremely different because of the free running. The only problem is some people are absolutely awful at this game, and I tell you why, because they cannot get used to the way the distances work on it. Nevertheless, a second is being released soon, as many of you are probably aware. This game actually looks really cool, and the music in it is pretty top-notch as well. For the price, in my opinion, it is well worth checking out, and it is not a terrible game at all. Next, and one that seems to be synonymous with Steam sales, a bit like our friend over here, Terraria, is Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic 2: The Sith Lords. It's available for $2.37 if you're paying in pounds, or if you're paying in US dollars, you're looking at $3.39. Interestingly, I have seen this go cheaper. I have actually seen this go to like 75% off or 80% off. In other words, it was broke into like the 180 range, I think, for pounds. I'm talking about, not US dollars. Regardless, this is an absolute awesome piece of storytelling. In my opinion, the story on number 2 was slightly inferior to that of the first, but the good news is that it is still a really, really good game. There is a number of mods available for this. I would highly recommend, however, that you take the game very slowly, you don't rush it, you check out all the quests and so on. It is, in my opinion, an absolute travesty that they continued the Old Republic with an MMO. I'll just be completely brutal. In my opinion, it was an obvious cash-in, and it could have been so much better if they'd not have done that. If they'd have gone the route of, the Sith Lords 2, or should I say, the Old Republic 3, it would have been so much more of a better game. As it is, the Old Republic does a pretty good job in terms of storyline, but in my opinion, it pales in comparison to what I imagine they could have done with the Knights of the Old Republic 3. In my opinion, you should definitely pick this one up. It is one of those games that, in my opinion, you really do need to play. And finally, we have a game that Organ's Trail, a Director's Cut. It's actually a really cheap game. It's $1.24. If you're paying in pounds, it's actually a rather microscopic £1. That basically makes the game so cheap you might as well just get it for the heck of it. I honestly could say, however, that I've never played this game. However, a quick bit of Googling actually gives it a ridiculously high score. We're talking 4s or 5s out of 5, as well as a high Metacritic and everything else. So, the question is, do you want to risk it? Well, it's $1.24 or £1. I'd argue that you can't really get much for that. So, in my opinion, if you're interested in the retro kind of themes in games, you can't really go wrong with it. It really does score extremely well. You guys could check out a couple of reviews. We've not reviewed it on RGT, but you can check out some reviews. There are numerous written reviews, and they do score extraordinarily well, my good sir. Anyway, that will just about cover me on this particular video. Hopefully you've enjoyed it, or at least found one or two bargains in there. I will see you soon. Take care, and bye for now.